James Foley, Kayla Muller, Stephen Sotloff, Peter Kassig. The 4 American journalists and aid workers brutally murdered on camera by the Islamic State in Syria in images that will forever remain seared in the collective psyche. And this, the British jihadi Alexanda Kotey, part of the ISIS terror cell known as the Beatles for their English accents, yesterday pleaded guilty in a US court to their capture, torture and subsequent execution, as well as conspiracy to murder 2 Britons, David Haynes and Alan Henning.
The justice, fairness and humanity that this defendant received in the United States stand in stark contrast to the cruelty, inhumanity, and indiscriminate violence touted by the terrorist organization that he espoused.
For the American family members, it was the first time they got to see the man who led the torture, beatings and waterboarding of their loved ones that led to their beheading in 2014 and 2015.
We'd ever seen Alexanda Kotey. It was kind of rather sobering to think that any human being could have committed all the horrific things he pleaded guilty to. I guess it's hard for me to understand anyone like Alexanda, and I do have some questions I'd like to ask of him, if I can, if I can summon the courage to.
In court, the 37-year-old Londoner showed little remorse as he admitted all 8 charges. "I accept I will be perceived as a radical who holds extremist views," Kotey told the court. He travelled to Syria in 2012, he said, and almost immediately began torturing hostages for ISIS. He and fellow British jihadi El-Shafi El-Sheikh were extradited to the US last year, and El-Sheikh is due to go on trial in January, a trial that Kotey will now cooperate with. Under the deal struck between the US and the UK, Kotey faces life in prison when he's sentenced next March, but not the US death penalty. His life spared. Not the same right for the American and British men and women who he helped to murder.